man, I kind of missed out a lot of other things because even though so much happened in season 12, it's still kind of an underwhelming season, but it kind of sets up things for the last, three seasons well. So that's the best thing I can say about season 12. It sets things up for the last three seasons really good. We're bringing back Lucifer. I mean, he also killed Azazel, right? Because it kind of looks like Lucifer just lost all his powers. So even though he was back, it looked like he couldn't do anything. But then he kills Azazel. I think takes his power. Then he eventually gets his own power back as well. Then that's when the rest you already know the story. There's just so much happens, man. Yeah, I kind of left that part out. But yeah, in season 13, they're basically trying to find out how they're gonna get their mother back, because since that's the biggest problem. Trying to get her back, but then I kind of forgot to address that Lucifer actually was having a son on that was coming along the way. Like, they actually set up so much that I just missed out, because the mother as well. Because basically it's just like basically Lucifer seduces like this woman, because I think he's pretending to be the president or something, and then basically I guess his wife or something, or well, she was just like a worker of the president, but then she was doing things behind the scenes, and then cause I guess she didn't really like her life, but what she was doing with protecting Lucifer's baby. I mean, there was so much going on in season 12 that I kind of forgot a lot of things. Yeah, she basically wanted to protect it instead of it getting killed. So yeah, there was actually a lot going on, but then I just don't know. Maybe they focused too much on the British Men of Letters and then having all this stuff later on. Yeah, it was a lot to take in. And one of I guess the Knights of Hell was protecting, I guess, Lucifer's baby, but then Castiel's trying to also protect it, because he promised, like, I guess the mother that she'll protect the baby, Jack, because I guess she called it Jack, so that's Lucifer's son's name, Jack. And she basically, I mean, because she does die by giving birth to Lucifer's son, and then and she does feel like Lucifer's son can actually be a positive thing to the world, instead of like negative and possibly dooming the world. Because the good thing about Lucifer not being in season 13 that much is that he's not around, and he doesn't really have the influence on his son. So when Sam and Dean are trying to look for him and then find him, and then Castiel and everything, because even though he wasn't born yet, he kind of heard a lot of things, and about Castiel and his mother. And when he found out that Castiel died, he actually brings him back. Like, yeah, Jack is pretty powerful for Lucifer's son. Also, on the other side, Mary's actually still alive. Sam and Dean's mother, with Lucifer though. So yeah, damn. I mean, the only reason he doesn't kill her is because he wouldn't really have something to give Sam and Dean a reason to go back, because without her, like, it's not like they want to go back. I mean, Dean is having huge doubts that, she's still alive, but, Sam, he has hope, I guess. And basically, Jack gets to a point where he wants to help Sam and Dean get their mother back. But then at the same time, he'd run into his father, Lucifer. But they kind of say things about him, like all the things that he's done. Yeah. And even though, like, all the things that he's heard about his, dad, he still wants to meet him, though. But, it's not going to be in a good light, basically. But yeah, Mary's basically getting tortured by Michael, because in the other reality, there's like a war going on. Basically, the world ended by Michael. And I guess there's all these people who... We even see characters that are actually dead at this point, like Kevin, Charlie, because, Charlie died in the last season. That was, a sad scene. Like, probably one of the saddest deaths, if not the saddest death still. Just, there's this other world, and there's still, like, this big war going on, but then, eventually Jack's able to go over and, I guess, protect the mother and actually help win in the war. He even gets a shot at Michael as well. And then basically, Sam and Dean are still trying to, get over as well, because, things didn't really go the way that he wanted when trying to open the thing. When they find this girl who has the ability to actually enter the other reality, because she has like some kind of curse, and then they just tried to help her with that, but then, you know, I mean, in a way, they're kind of using her, especially Dean, with how he treats her. Like, he even pulls a gun at her, which is going a bit too far. Like, Jesus. Yeah. But yeah, it gets to the point where they do find a way back. I mean, to get into the other world. You know, they basically get their mother back. But then Michael also gets free, and, you know, that's not good. But yeah, and Lucifer gets free. He basically takes his son's grace, which is just messed up because he doesn't really view him as his actual son. But then, you know, basically Dean decides to let Michael be a part of, you know, Dean, and then that's how he defeats Lucifer, and then let's just say it backfires. Alright, so this is the last season I'm talking about for today. So basically, you know, Michael possesses, you know, Dean. And man, like that fight scene when he's fighting the devil, like that was pretty cool. And he barely does defeat, you know, Lucifer, but you know, he's able to get like the final blow. Because, you know, Dean's in like full control. And Sam did kind of help, you know, by giving him the blade to actually kill Lucifer. And then he just, you know, Lucifer goes out in flames. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, basically Michael kind of completely possesses, you know, Dean, then just disappears. Then I guess Michael's trying to think of a plan to basically make all of the threats that, you know, Sam and Dean has versed, and make them stronger. So he kind of goes towards the vampires at first and tries to do things to them to make them stronger, but then I guess that plan doesn't really work out. But then later down the line in the season, he kind of finds out that, was it the werewolves that he tries to make stronger? And one of our old companions, you know, is a part of it, but then, you know, he kind of goes undercover to help. But yeah, basically, he does kind of want to destroy the world, but maybe do it in a better way, because he wanted to rebuild his own world instead of, you know, destroying it in, you know, the other reality. Because in the other reality, he actually killed Lucifer as well, and that kind of showed like how powerful he actually was. And right, I guess it was at the moment a good choice to make, you know, Michael and Dean a part of each other. But then, you know, that wasn't really going to work out because he took full control. And yeah, all the things that he does, like even Dean feels like he can't even live with himself with, you know, what all the things that, you know, Michael did. So he kind of finds like some coffin that will kind of lock him in the coffin for like eternity, and he even has nightmares about it. Like, man, that's messed up. And how that comes back into the next season too for a certain character, which we'll get to. I mean, wait, isn't this in the same season though? I'm just realizing that's not next season. This is in this season, but that at the very end. Yeah, because, you know, the stuff with Jack as well. Or okay, so yeah, because Jack basically loses control by the end of the season. I mean, he loses his power because of, you know, what Lucifer did, so he's kind of powerless in this season. But he does eventually get it back anyway when they defeat a certain threat. Yeah, Michael, because they do eventually defeat Michael, but like at a point where you'd think like, wouldn't it be like at least the penultimate episode or something, and then set up the storyline for the next season in the final episode? But he actually dies pretty early when there's still like 8 or so episodes left. But there's kind of a reason why they did that, because there was something happening where once, you know, it's kind of confusing how everything went, because a lot does happen and how things just escalate so much after defeating Michael. My god. Alright, so I'm just gonna get to it. So basically, yes, Jack does get his powers back, but at a cost. And it's kind of burning his soul, which we find out from Donatello. I think that's what he said, because Donatello does lose his soul, you know, in the show, so he kind of knows how it feels, and he's starting to feel like he's losing his soul, like he doesn't really feel anything, and it gets to the point where he's just starting to lose his mind, and he accidentally kills Mary. Oh, that scene when he kills Mary. Oof. And I guess Castiel's held responsible for that, because Castiel's the one who, I guess, you know, seen signs that there was something wrong with, you know, Jack, but, you know, he didn't really know how bad it actually was. it was at the time when, I guess, because Medusa was in this show, but instead of it being female, it was like male, a male Medusa. But man, that was definitely not a bad Medusa, even though it was male. But basically, like, there's this snake that Medusa had, which I guess wasn't really that harmful. But then I guess Jack just kills it for no reason, and that was kind of the sign for what he does to Mary, like what he's willing to do. He didn't mean to kill it, like he was just getting out of control, even when like he's with those kids and trying to bond with people, his own age, but accidentally kills one of them, but then, he brings her back to life. Well, basically heals her because she was dying. Yeah, but yeah, that was the moment where it was just like, damn. So yeah, at the end, Sam and Dean decide to put, Jack in the coffin, but he breaks out and, he's just furious at that point. Yeah. And then instead of, trying to kill Sam and Dean, like, because Jack has a voice in his head of Lucifer. Because also, wait, how was Lucifer, going to come back again? Because Lucifer was coming back, but, they got rid of that threat. Well, Jack helped mostly with Mary, and that's why, Mary died. Oh yeah, that's how that happened, yeah. And what he was doing to the original host of Lucifer, because basically, we finally get a storyline where the original host of Lucifer, had control again, but maybe the influence of Lucifer was still in him, so he was trying to get revenge on what happened to his family, from season 5, was it, or 4? I think it was 5. But he kind of goes out of control and starts killing innocent people. He eventually does kill the person who actually killed his family, like the demon. But man, he just wants to go back to Lucifer and tries to set Lucifer free again. But then that's when Jack just tortures him. Yeah. But then, Mary sees that he's losing his mind at that point. And then that's when, Mary gets killed by Jack by accident. But then Jack tries to fix it by getting help from Rowena. But then, yeah. Let's just say that it doesn't really work out because he does bring back something of Mary, but it's kind of like an empty shell. Like it's not even her. It's just basically Jack brought back something that doesn't even really have a way to bring back life. Like there was nothing really there. Also, it gets to a point where Chuck comes and wants, someone need to kill Jack because it looks like he's just getting out of control. And they give, Dean God gives, Dean a gun that would kill Jack, but the person who shoots it, I guess, also dies with how it worked. Yeah. But then we get a reveal that, after Dean decides to not kill Jack, because at this point he was like a part of the family and he just couldn't do it even after what he did. But then we get revealed that, God was actually the villain the whole time. He actually set up all of these events, especially when he starts saying like he can bring back the mother, the father, like he can do anything they want. And that just revealed like, wait, you could have did so many things throughout this whole show, but then that just revealed that God was the one who made all of these problems for Sam and Dean and basically made them have this life that they've been cursed with. Yeah. Like that reveal, man. Because even in those moments when he's saying like you can fix things for them, because basically he was just like making his own favorite TV show with their life, which was kind of messed up. Like Sam and Dean is just like, no, and they just view him as the actual threat in that moment. And I was just like, man, I have so much respect for these characters. They became like my favorite fictional characters at that point, man. How they're willing to step up to God and say he's won, and then that's when I guess God, snaps his fingers and says, time to end the show. Which, the final season, which we'll get to in the next review. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.
One look, the heat is rising, and I've been cold for so long. One touch and we're igniting, setting fire.